All right, in this video, I'm going to do a little bit more of a complex example. So if you feel like you have a handle on the first two animation videos, you can check this out. So I'm going to basically do an animation where we have an idle, and then it has like a transition animation, and then goes into another different idle animation. So just in the same way that we started off, we can make our new clips. So I'm gonna make the new idle second. And so what I want it to do is I want it to, in the transition, I want it to grow in size and change color. And then in the next idle, it will be the new size, the new color, and then just like spinning. So I'm going to the new idle will be a we want it to change the color, so I'm gonna turn the color. I'm also going to have it change the size, and then also it will be rotating. So I'm animating several things here, right? So for the scale and the color, we actually don't need a final keyframe because it's just going to exist as that scale and that color. So I'm going to make it so that it is 3 tall and maybe like 0.5, and 0.5 says very tall and slender. And then the color that I want it to be is let's say like a nice yellow, something like that. Very beautiful. And then I'm going to do kind of the same thing as the other idle where we have a animation where it's spinning in the Y. Not 260, but 360. Then we're going to do the same thing in the curves so that we have a constant spin. Ooh, and then maybe what if I wanted it to like bob up and down slightly? That would be kind of amazing. So what we can do is we can add the last property for the transform, which is the position, and we can add in a couple keyframes here. So maybe it comes in and oops, 3, 5. So not this, but make sure. So I just accidentally made a new keyframe. Okay, so maybe I want it to move up slightly in the Y. And so if we hit play now, it's very enticing. Maybe I don't want it to move quite that much, just a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, I would definitely go run over and touch this thing. Okay, so this is our first animation clip. I'm just going to check out the color. So this is 4 and 2 in R and G, and then 0.5, 3.5. Okay, so now we have this clip. I'm going to make another new clip, which is the cube transition clip. And basically we will want it to change its scale and change its color. So the color is under the mesh renderer. So here. Now we know that the final values are going to be 0.5, 3.5. There we go. It's like blue. And then the final color is 3 and 2. There we go. But like we could do some fun shit, you know? Like what if we wanted it to go like down a little bit? Like maybe right at the beginning it goes like down like negative 0.1, right? So it kind of goes something like that. And then maybe it goes like up like 0.5. So we have a little like boing, right? Something like this. So you can like have a little fun with it. Right? That's kind of fun. And then with the color, we could do the same thing. Like maybe instead of just turning straight to yellow, maybe it turns into like a nice like dark red color or like a pink or yeah, who knows, right? Like something like this maybe. So it goes like that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I think this is like a pretty nice transition animation. Okay. And then in our animator, when you make clips on a new object, it kind of automatically pops them in. So I'm just going to set up a little 1, 2 here. And one thing to note is that so the new idle, let's look here, new idle, we want this to loop, but transition, we do not want to loop. So we want to uncheck loop time on the transition clip. So no looping here. So let's set up the make transition and make transition. And then, so we're going from one to the next. And then what we can do is in our animator window, we can set up another parameter. So I'm going to delete this, do something that I made. But I'll make a new trigger parameter that says do transition. And I'm actually going to assign it to both of these. So these arrows only go in one direction. So in this one, so if we set do transition when we're in the idle state, it'll move to transition. But if we set do transition again, when we're in the transition state, it will go from the transition to, the only way it could go is from here to here. So we can actually set the same exact parameter on both of these. Okay. Now it's time to do a little bit of fun. So first I'm going to start off with making this one go when I hit a button. So I'm going to go back to my script, and so we already have this. So let's say if we key code, if input dot get key down, key code dot t for transition, then we will set the do transition set trigger do transition. Okay. So that's one. So what we'll be able to do is if I hit play, this is playing, and then if I hit T, it's going to go into the transition. But I could hit T again, but like I don't want to have to hit T. I want it to go automatically to the next one when I finish this. So what we're gonna do is set an event at the end of this transition animation that will automatically call the trigger. So if we go back to our animation, this will open up the transition, and then right at the end here, I'm going to add a little event. Now, we're going to need, just like how a button works, we're going to need a public function that gets called when we get to the end here. So in our script, I'm going to make a public void that is set transition. And then we will say, hey, anim.set trigger do transition here. All right, so this is the public function. Now this script is on the cube object that has the animator on it. So what we can do is it will, if it's on the cube, it will show up in this dropdown. So set transition is now here. So now it's going to play this and then automatically go to the next one. So if I hit play, I hit T, boop, and then it will automatically go. It's pretty cool.